Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about mistletoe. Now mistletoe this time of year is something that you see for sale in all sorts of markets and other places, and we actually sell it. We sell it at the side of the road in our little shop where we sell our eggs. And the reason we sell it is because it's something you can forage for, it's something you can find anywhere. And we have some here growing in our garden. You can see here, this is a beautiful example of a piece of mistletoe growing in a nice big ball, and we've got more growing elsewhere. Now it'll grow on hawthorn and poplar trees, but the most common host here in the UK at least is in apple trees, and that includes these crab apple trees. So you're going to find it almost anywhere. One of the best things about mistletoe from a forager's point of view, it's not something we're going to eat, but one of the best things is a lot of the trees it grows on are deciduous, which means that they lose their leaves in the winter. And it leaves them looking like this, so it makes them really easy to spot around the time you're going to be foraging. Now, if you can see in the background there's a huge tree. The trees right in the distance run along a riverbank, and there's lots of mistletoe clumps in those trees as well. You really can find it anywhere. I see it everywhere when I'm out and about driving. So anywhere that's got cultivated apple trees, so, you know, particularly gardens, parks, places like that, but anywhere else, literally anywhere. When I'm driving, I really struggle not to see it. So one downside is quite often it's a little bit out of reach, but it's not always. So just keep your eyes open. So as an example, we're just driving home after doing some Christmas shopping, and you can see in these trees behind me here, those bundles, they're all mistletoe. So obviously when you see a bundle in a tree like that, it's got to be one of three things. It's either going to be a witch's broom, a crow's nest, or something similar to that, or this mistletoe. And the main way you can tell the mistletoe, I mean, once you've spotted a few, you'll be able to do it easily without thinking twice. But obviously it's green, it's a living thing. So if I zoom in, you'll see, you know, it's just really easy to identify and tell the difference. And it stretches all down that row of trees. Which is another characteristic of it, actually. If you find some, you're very, very likely to find it in abundance, stretched out amongst similar tree species in the same place because of the way that it spreads. I'm going to take you somewhere else now quickly, because I've got another patch growing just over there that's within reach without me having to climb on anything. So here I've got a patch of mistletoe that's within reach. I'm going to cut a piece of this off and show you a little bit closer. Okay, here we go. So this is typical for a piece of mistletoe, and these white berries, they're not something you want to eat, but they are a valuable food source to some birds. And because they're around at a time of year when there's not a lot else around, that's why they get eaten. I don't think they're particularly sought after by birds. At this time of year, they're a valuable food source to birds when there's not a lot else growing. And that's part of their gift, as part of how they spread. So with mistletoe, basically it's called semi-parasitic, which means it's, as you can see, it's got these green leaves and it will photosynthesize, and it produces some of the energy that it uses itself by itself, but it takes the rest from the host plant, from the tree. So it's semi-parasitic. Generally speaking, if you have some on a tree, you don't have to worry about the health of the tree. If you've got an absolute torrent of it everywhere you look, it can become a health issue for the tree. It can be too much for the tree to bear. But generally speaking, a few bunches on a tree is going to do it no harm at all, so you don't need to worry about that. But one of the amazing things I love about mistletoe that really excites me when I learnt this is how it actually spreads. So these white berries that the birds eat, when you crush them, they're actually quite sticky. The flesh is really sticky. And what happens is the seed and the flesh inside that gets stuck on the bird's beak. So it flies off onto another tree or whatever, eating its berry, and then it wipes its beak off on the tree with that sticky seed attached to the outside of the beak. So you can see how the seed then gets transported onto another plant. That's how it spreads, that's how it propagates. I love that story. So that's mistletoe, and like I say, you can go to the high street and buy this for a couple of quid, or you can go for a walk with your kids and your family and pick your own. I know which I'd prefer to do. So mistletoe, it's a fantastic Christmas forageable. It can be gifts. You could sell it at the side of the road if you've got a little egg shop like we do, or you could just pick your own and have it to decorate your house. If you find these videos valuable, there's several ways you can support them, and the easiest of which is to press that like button. You can do that now, it costs you nothing. Also, leave me a comment down below and subscribe to our channel. If you do subscribe, make sure to press that bell button so that you get notified of any future videos. You can also find Self-Sufficient Hub via your podcast provider. We have a Self-Sufficient Hub podcast which drops every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. If you wish and you want to support us even more, you could go to our Patreon page and become a patron. It's patreon.com/selfsufficienthub. All these links are in the description. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll speak to you guys soon.